Alright, hello everyone. Welcome to my channel, Mr. Ade your bet. If you happens to be someone that loves to stake high or that loves consistent winning without minding the kind of odds that the bookmakers offer for a particular market, this particular betting strategy is actually for you. Of recent, it seems to be very hard to win some betting because most of the results are ending up in the other way around. So I decided to check out some of our old betting strategies, but not on football. Let us kindly ignore this particular handicap betting strategy for now, because that also is an old strategy. But this strategy seems to not provide a very big odds, because most of our recent big odds, like the both team to score that you guys are seeing on the screen, they are not coming out the way we want them to be. Because in the last match, Bayern Munich ended up their match in 0-1, which is supposed to have been both team to score or at least over 1.5 goals. All right, so I decided to complete my analysis on this particular tennis betting strategy. Some people are not really familiar with how these particular sport games work. So alright, so I'm going to put you guys through the process of how to make use of this particular strategy, steps to steps. And let us first ignore this particular handicap stuff for now, because this handicap that you guys are seeing actually is double chance betting strategy, but that one is for another day. All right, so let us take us to a process, the first process that you guys need to consider. And before we do that, I want us to do a back testing to confirm how accurate this particular betting strategy is. All right, so now let us look at the first set in tennis. We call it first set in tennis, and this particular betting strategy is predicting the over 7.5 alone. I don't go for over 8.5. I don't go for over 9.5 or over 10.5, because that has a certain high numbers of uncertainty in it. So now, all right, so the first step to do is to show us the previous games that these people has already played, and to see the common outcomes that always end up in their first set. Now if you guys are to look at previous days, or like games that they've been playing since last week Monday, and we are going to check it, and I'm going to quickly run it through so that you guys will understand what I'm talking about. So this is the first steps that you guys need to take. The first thing that you need to do is to look into the odds. Of recent, I think they are currently playing the Australian Open ATP under the tennis for both men and women. These are the top games under the tennis sports of recent. Now let us look at the previous games that they've played since Monday up to the present, and to look at the odd. So the first thing that you need to do is look at the odd allocated by the bookmakers. What I'm actually teaching you guys right now happens to be a VIP betting strategy, and if you're able to watch it, congratulations to you. All right, so now let us check the Monday. So we have some top games here. So there is a particular difference between the WTA and ATP, and that is the men's league and the women's league. I noticed something about the women's league. Sometimes most of their games always end up in maybe 7, exactly 7, but the bookmakers always try to provide the odd line that is around over 6.5. Are you getting it? The bookmakers will provide you odd that is around over 6.5, but the odd may be ridiculously low, maybe around 1.03 or 1.02. But some games there are some games that yet I still go for over 7.5. Now the first thing that you need to do, in case you have a particular live score app that you use to check the start of the games, one thing that you need to first look at is to look at the games. The bookmakers are allocating odd, like maybe they are giving a particular team 2 odd, and they are giving the other one an odd that is around 1.6 and above. So in this particular situation of the first match that you guys are seeing here, the player at home was given an odd of 1.74 odd, and the one for the away team was given an odd of 2.10 odd. This shows that this particular match seems to be a very tough game between two good opponents, that their ability is almost even, because you know that tennis game is a sport of individual, not like football or basketball that involves teamwork. All right, so this one, if we look at it very well, their first set ended up in 6-4, that is 10. All right, and automatically the over 7.5 goes over 7.5 points work out well for the first set, because we have the first set, the second set, we have third set, and so many on like that, depending on if the game ended up in draw. So are you getting it? All right. So if you guys check naturally in tennis generally, most of the first set always end up in over 7.5, regardless of the odd. But the odd will actually help you to even improve the probability of your outcome of the game, because most times teams, if a strong opponent is playing against another strong opponent, both players will likely want to win the game, and they will be scoring points very well. If you guys are to look at this particular match, the bookmakers are allocating 1.25 odd to the opponent and 3.8 odd to the opponent. The match can actually end up in over 7.5, but most times games like this, it's the first set will end up in 6-1. But let me check this one and let's see, because commonly you will have over 7.5. All right, so fortunately in the first set, you guys can see we have over 7.5, and that is lucky. And if you guys check the second set, you guys will surely see that this is 6-1, which is exactly 7 points. So this is what I want to show you guys. If you guys check randomly on this particular tennis service 10, it is very common that their games always end up in over 7.5. Look at this particular home players too. The bookmakers allocate 1.43 odd to them, and they weight him 2.77 odd. Let us check their first set outcome. In addition, this particular game also ended up in 6-4. So it is like a bonus point for you when it comes to tennis, predicting tennis first set over 7.5. But unfortunately, this particular market is not provided for all leagues. So there are some selected top leagues that the bookmakers will provide the odd line for this particular market. All right, so don't let us waste our time on checking randomly. Let us first focus on some odd range that the bookmakers allocate to each individual players. All right, so if you look at this particular game ended up in over 7.5 for set. I'm sure the next game too will. All right, so the same thing applicable to this particular game also. The first set ended up in over 7.5, because they even entered third set, because it is a tough game between two opponents. If you guys are to look at the odd allocated, 2.12 odd and 1.72 odd, so it is like that. And if you guys look at it very well, I don't want us to waste our time on checking doing the back testing, but I believe you guys have gotten the gist about this particular odd of a thing. You guys can actually check the odd line and do the back testing after watching this particular video. All right, so now let us move on to the next aspect of doing this. All right, so the first process I showed you guys is in case you want to understand the behavioral factors aspect of this particular betting strategy. Naturally, when it comes to predicting tennis first set, it does not always require doing the start analysis or anything like that. Just follow the odd allocated by the bookmakers and consider it as the behavioral factors to predict your first set over 7.5. Naturally, the common outcome of the first set in tennis is over 7 commonly, but most times if the match ended up in when a player scored 6 points scored 6 points in the first set, that is when the player win the first set and they move on to the second set. But most times the match will surely end up in probably maybe 6-2, 6-3 or 6-4. Now I'm going to take one of this particular match as an example, and I want you guys to know something. In the women's league, it is not always easy to get over 7.5. Their common outcome is around over 6 and over 7. Are you getting it? Right. So in case you are not using this particular best platform, it is very easy. Just only consider the odd line. Look at the odd that's allocated to each individual players and see if their power is even, like very close to each other. Surely the first set is an automatic over 7 for you. So let us click this particular match, and looking at it, this is a women's league. Are you getting it? This is a women's league, and I told you about the women's league stuff that the bookmakers will provide you the odd line for their over 6.5, because sometimes their games always end up in exactly 7 points in the first set. So let us assume that you are predicting a men's league, because in this particular game I eventually played it as over 7.5. All right, so let us go to the stats, because this particular bet platform will provide you some average stats and so many things like that, and these things are what we are going to look into. All right, so you guys are going to check their head to head new, and that is where you are going to get their average point. All right, so in this particular aspect, what you just need to do is to check their average games in the first set. Looking at their average games in the first set, you guys can see that this is 5. This is 5 for the home players, and this is 6.2 for the away players. Combining this together, it will surely give you around something 11, and this is one of the perfect game to go for as over 7.5. And these particular factors led to the reason why I actually predicted this particular women's match as over 7.5. If you can see these particular factors in the women's match like this, you can actually go for it as over 7.5. And if you have to look at the odd I played this game on, unless the odd changed, you guys can see that for the home player to win, the odd allocated to it is 1.73, and for the away team, away player, the odd allocated is 2.20. And that is just the gist about this particular betting strategy. Very simple, very very simple. And when we are talking about the other strategy that you guys saw, so when we are talking about the handicap, this particular handicap betting strategy happens to be an old betting strategy which was abandoned because of the odd allocation to it by the bookmakers most times. If you try to use this particular betting strategy, sometimes it will make your tickets to be very long, and the odd allocated to it by the bookmakers can be very small, like something like this, something like this, and something like this, as you guys saw it in the ticket earlier. All right, so this particular one is something that we guys are going to discuss another day, because it is not something that we can actually discuss today. And looking at it, it seems to be a very promising strategy, but it is for only people that can endure small odd. When you see small odd and you happen to be an high staker, this particular betting strategy also works well. All right, so thanks for watching. See you guys in the next video. In case you have any question regarding to this particular betting strategy, you can actually drop it in the comment section. And also, in case you want to join us in our WhatsApp VIP group or on our Telegram channel, you are free to join us. One problem about our Telegram channel is just that we always drop big odds games there, and it seems like people mostly enjoy getting big odds on the Telegram channel. But on our VIP tips, we don't care about the odds, and what we care mostly about is the accuracy. All right, so thanks for watching. See you guys in the next video. Don't forget, no strategy is always 100% accurate, but at least we are still trying to give our best to it. Bye.